Okay. Anything else we need to talk about? Let's look at the old list.
I don't know that we needed an episode on this, but what do you think of YouTube starting to demonetize fake trailers?
Thank fucking God.
Me too. All right.
Well, here's what I hate. And that's like the worst version. And I'm glad I'm recording on this because people are just going to hear me rant for a second. So this fake trailers, all these AI trailers, or just the ones they piece together from other trailers to make new sequels and whatnot. That's the worst version of what sites, and I'm going to call them out, like Screen Rant do. Actor or actress S really embodies the character of this in this fan art. And it's like, it's not casting news.
No.
It's and you're probably not even citing who the damn artist is.
No.
It's like every single day there are so many sites that put out fan art and they write it up so that it sounds like a casting news. And it's like, but the fake trailer garbage on YouTube, thank God, start getting this garbage out because it's pointless. It serves no purpose. It doesn't do anything. And really all it does, because they're always made with an agenda, and it's either to build up something that's going to be garbage or trash something that they want to trash, or just, I don't even know what, make up a movie that they want to make up. But then if you want to do that, that's fine, but you better splash fake trailer over the front of it or label your site fake trailers.
Yeah.
Because if your site is called, and I think there actually is a channel called Fake Trailers, they can put up whatever they want. They have said up front, these trailers are bullshit.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad you asked, because like I said, that there's so much garbage out there, and that's just that's the easiest thing to attack, to let the people that are doing all of that kind of garbage know that you can't keep doing that kind of garbage. It's just, it's not helpful.
No, I for me, I don't particularly watch a lot of trailers.
No,
so I'll see
not to, but you see them.
Oh no, yeah, but
Yeah.
So I will see these things pop up, and I'll be like, well, that's odd. Is generally my first thought of.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times, obviously, there's a ton of Star Wars ones that get out there, and it's like, well, being, I guess, in the industry, I usually will get an email regarding these things that are going to drop, so I know all these YouTube stuff are fake going in, but and I just think the problem is there are enough people who aren't savvy.
Yeah.
Who will think that these are the real things, and it doesn't help anything. Now, if you're out there, you're at least selling it as if it's real.
Right.
Now, if you're someone, a filmmaker who wants to do an effects reel, who wants to kind of do a fake trailer, that sort of thing, be upfront about what it is.
Yeah.
And then I don't really have much of an issue with it. But it's the people who are, literally stealing logos and studio clips and things, they're editors, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're making this fake art stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I just, I don't see what the joy of making or viewing those are, I guess.
No. And, if you scroll through Facebook or Instagram, you'll see like movie announcements.
Yes.
This is coming in. They'll say in 2025.
Yeah.
And it's like, that movie doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And you're like, that movie doesn't exist because, you've got these actors and you can tell they've pieced together a poster.
Yeah. They're selling disappointment. Actually.
But yeah. So they'll, this movie coming out and they've got a synopsis for a movie that doesn't exist. And it's just like, can we take that stuff down too? Because that's terrible. You just scroll by and you're like, it's such garbage. It's like, look, you might not like what we think of a movie, but we don't make movies up to talk about. You know, it's like if you're a movie lover, there's enough stuff out there about actual film to talk about, to discuss, to analyze.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and there's part of me that says, look, fan fiction, this kind of falls sort of in that realm, but I tend to think that this is even like
it's
less about, well, it's less about like fan exploration than it is to mess with, I don't know. You know, I just, it just doesn't, you know, if you want to make fan films and whatnot, I don't have any issue with that as long as it's perfectly clear that this is not, you know, a studio made thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
Anyway, it doesn't impact me very much, but I know a lot of,
I think it hurts the film community.
Yeah.
I really do. And speaking of the film community, here's something you may have heard. In an attempt to get more people to the theaters between weekends, AMC is doing $5 movies on Wednesdays. Is going to start doing $5 movies on Wednesdays.
Okay.
There's $5 tickets, not like this movie is $5.
Yeah.
Really, $5. I do like AMC. I love those theaters. I've been to many of them. We have our local, the Larry H. Miller Megaplex. We see a lot of films there. We have Cinemark. We've been to all of them. I enjoy all my theaters. But back in the day, I had an AMC movie pass. So, but it's like, yeah, why not? You know, why not? Get people back in theaters. I think that's brilliant. They're not going to lose anything. They can only gain.
And I don't know what the, you know, I don't know what the breakdown, and this is maybe something I could talk to some people about, but the breakdown of when they do that, how that impacts box office and what studio gets out of it. But I think anything that gets people back in movie theaters, I don't see that as a bad thing.
Nope. And I was thinking about that, the breakdown too, the actual expense breakdown. And I think because like studios get a percentage of ticket sales, they don't get,
I don't think it's a flat
$5 a seat. They get a percentage of sales. So the theater is not going to lose anything. They're showing the movie anyway, whether it's to an empty auditorium or if there's 10 people in it.
Yeah.
And if they get 10 more people in than they had before, they're coming out ahead.
Well,
it's not great, but
and if it helps the theater industry, why not?
That Netflix guy, we're saving cinema. It's like, oh, okay. I believe you bought a theater. I love the fact that they did I saw that article where they talked about that guy. But they said Netflix has a theater so that they can do releases for awards consideration. And it's like, fuck you. You know it's important. You just, again, I've said it for years. If Star Wars is not Star Wars without a theatrical release.
Probably not, no.
And think about the impact of that. Now, to be fair, Titanic is not Titanic, unfortunately.
No, I mean, but
if we don't have a theatrical release, but I'm just saying,
there is
Star Wars.
There's something to be said about a shared theater experience and a movie presented in a way that you're not going to be able to see at your home.
Yes.
I know, look, I love the advancements home theaters have made. I love the fact that, should you have the money, you can build your own little THX quality theater in your home. But unless you're incredibly wealthy, you're never going to be to replicate the experience of seeing a movie in the theaters.
No. And God forbid IMAX.
Everyone knows now. Part of the conversation, unfortunately, has to be the fact that for some reason, and maybe it's because we don't go to the theaters as much or whatnot, but behavior at theaters has become an incredibly big issue.
Yes.
You know, we need to remember that we're not the only people in the room. You know, that people have come to see a movie. If you've come to waste some time and check your phone, maybe a movie's not best for you. And I don't want to be, and it's not because you know you don't deserve to see the movie. It's that people there didn't come to see you look at your phone. And it bugs me regardless of who does it. I won't say too much, but we were at a press screening when an individual looked at their phone 3 or 4 times throughout a movie. And I noticed every time. And it didn't ruin anything, but it anyway,
No, I hear you.
It was a frustrating thing because of all the people who you think would know better, who, you know, it's a privilege for us to get to sometimes see movies without an audience well in advance of when the audience would get to see it. You know, there's a privilege aspect to our job that that I don't take for granted. At least I try not to take for granted. You know, we're required to behave in a certain way, whether or not we are wanting to behave in that way or not. You know, but you know, it's remarkable how a non-distracting cinematic experience is better than, you know, one that you got kids on their phones and everything. But anyway,
100%.
Anyway, so we, you know, but theatrical experience in general, I love seeing a film with fans who are there to watch the movie, who are into the movie, or at least, you know, they came to a movie because they want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be that a Marvel movie or whatever. You know, so yeah, and I don't, you know, and it's the same. I'm a huge live theater, you know, fan as well. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you just cannot replicate that experience in any other space. So that's, you know, there's my little thing. If you can, you know, I know there are people who, you know, I don't like to leave my house, but what will I do? I will leave my house to go see movies. Because that's the way that they're supposed to, and more often than not, that's the way they were intended to be seen. And I want to see them in the best way that can be seen. And you know what? And if they want to make that $5 on Wednesday, great.
You
know, maybe I'll go see some more movies on Wednesdays. Just a
fact,
you know,
100%. So there you go. So that, there you go. There's our little blurbs about various movie issues. Everyone.
Things.
So we'll do that. So so there you go. That's it. That's it, everybody. Click. Done.